We could get Shawn versus Jake. That seems like a fantastic matchup.
Sure. Where's that at?
Table 10.
Table 10. So, Shawn Tabrizi versus Jake McCune. Many of you guys probably know Jake as one of our casters. Typically does Legacy on Mondays. Occasionally does Modern on Thursdays. And then Shawn Tabrizi is a local grinder who plays with us quite a bit with many formats.
Yeah.
So this should be very interesting. Do you know what either of these guys perhaps are on?
Shawn's on Grixis Delver. We've seen him a lot in these.
He made the finals.
Yes, finalist from the last one. I think he has a few more other top 8s. Someone who, kind of as we were talking about at the beginning of the cast, doesn't have a win at these Legacy Preservation Series, but actually might have a reasonable shot of just qualifying on points with a lot of solid finishes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Jake, I don't know what he's on. We don't have deck lists quite yet, but we should be able to find that out soon enough.
Okay. Yeah, should be a super interesting match between two very, very well-known local grinders.
Yes. Jake's someone who does casting a lot.
Yeah.
Both Modern and I think Legacy sometimes.
Yeah.
Someone who really knows what he's doing.
Yep.
We'll see what they got brewed for us.
Yeah, we'll head down to the table here as our players are going to get all set and good to go. So let's talk a little about this Grixis Delver deck. Again, Shawn's been on this deck for as long as I remember.
Yeah, I think it's basically the only Legacy deck he's ever played.
Yeah, and he's been very. I spoke with him a little bit after his top 8 in his finals appearance last time. Notably, he got posed a little bit on the luck side.
Yeah, it was
that burn deck.
With the burn deck having one turn to run a burn spell and it managed to.
Spoiler: dripping burn spells.
Yeah,
but yeah, I know
it happens.
Yeah, things happen like that. But I talked a little about his choice for the Grixis Delver over the bug variants, which have been more popular of late.
Yes.
And he definitely is a big fan of Lightning Bolts and Gurmag Anglers and the little bit quicker, more tempo route of this Grixis deck versus the more reactive style of the bug decks.
And I think we got the players switched here. But
okay, I will switch them around.
Yeah, going along with the tempo point that you were making, Shawn's also playing... I think 3 Stifles in his main deck. So really pushing the aggressive mana denial aspect pretty hard.
Definitely. There we go, get our players sitting on the right side of the table.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll see if Shawn can run it back, get back to that top 8. Again, he is, both these players are 1-0.
Correct.
I'll update our thing here for that.
Jake, unfortunately, shuffling his cards in a way that we can't quite get a peek at what he's playing. But hopefully we'll figure that out soon enough.
Yeah. It's a little interesting here. I think I see a Culligan's Command at the bottom.
That would imply the 4-color, either 4-color blue or... Some people call it check pile.
It definitely seems something that's in Jake's wheelhouse. He definitely loves to play kind of a little bit off the wall, but definitely control decks
yes.
in the formats I've seen him play. And we'll get their deck list. Here we go.
Here we go. This is Jund.
Rabble Jund.
Yes.
That's what he called it.
It's got 4 Goblin Rabble Masters.
Rabble, 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 rabble. I cannot resist doing that every time I hear Rabble Master.
Looks like a pretty solid hand here from Jake. He's got,
hey, Taxi Probe.
Yeah. Turn 1 Deathrite. Plus pretty decent follow-up.
Yeah, it looks like he's got the Punishing Fire package here of Jund. Just going in with the Rabble Masters as his primary win con over things like Tarmogoyf for other options in that slot.
Yes. 0 Tarmogoyf is somewhat unusual. Also 0 Bloodbraid Elf.
Yeah.
Taking a little bit lower to the ground approach in his Jund deck.
Definitely interesting. Realm Master notably being an interesting option for because there's not as much removal in Legacy as in other formats.
True.
And it definitely runs away with the game real quickly on an empty board.
Yeah, fantastic option against the combo decks that are historically a bit of a tougher matchup for Jund.
So now that we know that these two players are on, how do you think this matchup kind of shakes down?
So I think that John is historically a little bit of a favorite, having the Punishing Fire engine to kill all of Shawn's creatures, as well as Abrupt Decay as an uncounterable removal spell, and just a little bit better card advantage. Notably, the Rabble Master version is not going to be as good in this matchup since Lightning Bolt just deals with that pretty easily. But otherwise, I think Jake should have a little bit of advantage.
Definitely. I am also a big fan of Liliana the Veil against the Gurmag Angler plan.
That's true.
All your other removal can take care of the smaller creatures. That Liliana each is pretty good. I'm also a big fan of Liliana in this format. Just because if you want to play a black-based mid-range deck, she is very hard to answer, and when she is on board, she tends to take over. There's not a lot of ways to deal with Planeswalkers that people like to play.
Yeah, Shawn's not playing green for Abrupt Decay, so he does not have a direct way to remove the Liliana with it in play.
Definitely. That's why Shawn's going to send a message and attack in for 1. Interesting there, because Shawn knows that he has a Punishing Fire, and he opts not to try to save or leave open the mana in order to eat that Punishing Fire.
Yeah, he saw the Death Ray in Jake's hand on the first turn, which he didn't play, so Jake pretty clearly wanted to play her on days as much as possible.
Yeah.
I think Shawn could figure that Punishing Fire wasn't going to get cast on that turn.
Yep. And the blind flip off the Delver.
Always nice.
Yeah. Legacy, the format where Delver always flips. Most times because you set it up.
But doing it blind,
yeah,
always helpful.
This Delver's going to get in here for 3. Yeah, Shawn has double Force of Will in hand.
Yeah, he's got double Force Will and double blue card to pair with it if he wants to. But I think that spending that many cards against John is not a winning proposition.
No, definitely not. Be interesting to see how this shakes out if he can end up protecting this this Delver all the way. And he currently looks like he probably has the tools to do so.
Yeah, his Death Ray can stay on tap to stop Jake's Death Ray if he wants to. I do believe Shawn has another land, so if he wants to, he can take the Lightning Bolt and fetch to bolt the Death Ray.
Notably, he could also just tap the Deathray Shaman to any will to exile that Scalding Tarn, yeah, and Lightning Bolt that way.
Not wanting to shuffle because he likes the other cards just off the ponder.
Yeah,
makes sense.
If you're Jake, you feel a little saddened by that play because it definitely tells you that Shawn likes the cards on top of his library.
Yes. I think, Shawn's definitely got all the tools he needs to close this game out, but.
Yeah, it looks like he found another Punishing Fire.
Yeah. We'll see if Jake is willing to keep playing around days or decide that he has to start tapping out.
Yeah.
No, just going to play out the Punishing Fire.
It looks like Shawn is going to Force Will this.
Yeah, he doesn't know that Jake has a second Punishing Fire, so Shawn's probably thinking that he can just counter this, eat it with the Death Ray, and go from there.
Definitely, and this is one of those plays around Taxing Probe and Thoughtseize effects that's really interesting. It's a skill-intensive thing for both sides of the table that Jake knows that Shawn only saw one of them.
True.
So he knows he's probably more willing to counter this than if he had seen both. Eat that Punishing Fire.
Yeah.
Jake says, okay. I don't like that, but okay.
Shawn's got the second Force Will ready to probably counter this Liliana. But the second Punishing Fire maybe be an issue.
And if you're Jake, you feel pretty happy because then you force Shawn into a top deck mode. If he does have to Force a Will this next spell.
And especially if Shawn does Force a Will the Punishing Fire, then Jake knows that he doesn't have to play around days anymore because Shawn will have no cards in hand.
Yeah. Looks like he's gonna float a blue in response. If Shawn casts a Brainstorm here, Jake can fire off this Punishing Fire and get around. He's gonna let it resolve. I was gonna say with Shawn only having one card in hand, that might have been the prime opportunity to fire off that Punishing Fire because you can play around both days and Force Will that way.
Looks like Shawn drew into the days.
Yeah, so it's like Daze, Lightning Bolt. I can't tell what that card next to Force of Will is. And
He's got a
Force of
Stifle as the other blue card in his hand.
Will. He's probably gonna. He might stifle that. No.
Yeah, so now he can decide if he wants to stifle. No, letting the Wasteland happen.
Yeah, interesting.
And now he can Daze the Punishing Fire and then stifle the fetch if he wants to.
Ooh, that would be huge.
Yeah, I don't know if Jake has any other lands in his hand, but if not, it looks like he's got a bad lands left over, so he will still be able to Liliana next turn. But that might be too slow.
Yeah. There's been a great sequence here from Shawn. Yeah, Jake notably.
Yeah, Shawn really showing off the power of Stifle.
Man,
Grixis
and Jake definitely got punished there for not responding to that brainstorm by punishing firing then.
Yeah, absolutely. So with Jake down to 10, there's a potential 2-turn clock. Though Shawn, he bounced an Underground Sea, right? So he does still have black mana, yes.
He found another Deathray Shaman.
But
notably, he's just going to turn on this 2-turn clock.
makes sense.
Well, granted, I guess with Liliana coming down to Edict. Ooh, and it looks like
But Jake could scoop up game 1, maybe realizing that Liliana was not going to be good enough.
Is it though? He had 2 Lilianas, so if he could play one out Edict, play the second one out Edict, and just hope that Shawn didn't find.
Yeah, it's a line that wins if Shawn has nothing for the rest of the game. But I think Jake...
probably also just conserving time.
Yeah, guessing that that's unlikely enough that he doesn't really want to bother playing it out.
And I apologize, our clock is not running here, so I'll let you guys know. We have 40 minutes left in the round, though.
So taking a look at the sideboards here, does look like Jake has a ton for this matchup. He has Pyroblast being a reasonable answer against all of the blue spells in Shawn's stack. He's also got Golgari Charm and Engineer Explosives as sweeper effects that are good against Young Pyromancer. But that's about it.
Interesting.
And Shawn has Dismember, a good way to kill any of the creatures in the Jund deck. He also has Fire Covenant, which I don't know if he's going to bring in here, but would actually be fantastic since Jake is on all small creatures, no Tarmogoyfs.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
But I think...
the downside of her, of course, is that Shawn didn't see any of the other creatures. He didn't see
no.
Dark Confidant or Rabble Master.
He did see Dark Confidant off of a probe.
Off a probe, yeah.
But did not see Rabble Master. Maybe...
so
not hard to see how much sideboarding here.
Yeah, see how much he can glean off of that. But it does give him the option for game 3 if he ends up losing to those creatures.
Yeah, I think Shawn does have enough cards that he wants to board out between boarding out some number of Force of Wills, maybe board out some Dazes on the draw. He's got 1 main deck Spell Pierce, which is not fantastic. You could just bring in a few removal spells to hedge against Jake's creatures a little bit.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It looks like Shawn might also be considering bringing in Pithing Needle to name Liliana. It's a good way to defend all of the larger creatures that Jake actually has no other way to remove.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting option here from Jake here, looking at his deck or his deck list, not having ways to do anything big.
Yeah, no Maelstrom Pulse is...
No Maelstrom Pulse, no things like Terminate or even Fatal Push. Like, there's no way to just like actively destroy a large creature.
Yeah, well, Fatal Push would not be good enough against Gromaggy.
No,
anyway.
Definitely not.
But yeah, not having Pulse could be a bit of an issue if Shawn's able to get a fast
kind of leaning all in on the 4 of Lily of the Veil plan to...
Yeah, and he's also got Thoughtseize him to Turak, so it's not like he doesn't have a lot of ways to interact with anything Shawn could be presenting.
Definitely. So this should be interesting. I'll update our scoreboard here for you guys.
Shawn taking down game 1 there.
Woo! Yeah, again, I really like the fluidity of this Grixis Delver list. It doesn't try to do anything fancy or amazing, but when it does well and very consistently.
Yeah, Shawn's definitely very high on the deck, but even talking to a lot of the more notable legacy players around, I think that Grixis Delver has kind of risen up to take the place of Miracles as the kind of de facto best deck in the format. Should be maybe a pretty good opportunity for Shawn to finally get that win.
Definitely, and the main thing that I've also heard a lot is that again, when you compare the two Delver variants between the Grixis Delver and the Bug Delver, the reason why some people are gravitating towards Grixis Delver is it's a better Death and Taxes matchup. Things like Culligan's Commands are always on option, which are really good against them. As well as, again, you're a little bit quicker and lower to the ground. Turns out Krax is pretty good against Leovold, especially when you can Reshard and Port and keep them off of lands, which I hear is a popular line of play there. You don't necessarily care about them drawing as many cards when you can just out-tempo them.
Yeah. And True Name and Young Pyromancer both being the creature-based win conditions that are bad against Terminus, but good against most everything else.
Yeah, definitely.
Players get ready for game 2 here. Jake is going to be on the play, which is a pretty big deal in this matchup. All of the Wastelands, Stifles, Dazes, and Shawn's deck get much, much worse on the draw than they are on the play.
Yeah.
Let's see if that can make a difference. Yeah. Interesting that Jake spent the majority of game 1 playing around Daze, and then the turn that Shawn finally drew the Daze, he was able to combo with the Stifle to actually still counter a spell.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was a pretty brutal line there. You're playing around the Daze as best you can, but opting not to crack that fetch just yet. Ended up costing him.
Yep, unfortunate.
It's one of those things that it's always been a very underrated part of the, at least for me it's underrated, of the Legacy metagame is when to crack fetches. And it tends to it'll cost you games if you crack them at the wrong time, because there's lots of in response to you cracking your fetch type turns.
Yeah, with the resurgence of the Bug Delver decks, or even some of the slower Grixis decks, Stifle's really dropped off a lot in popularity.
Yeah.
But Shawn's I think Shawn has had in his deck for a while, and really a big fan of that card.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's running, what, 3 of them?
Yeah, 3 main.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, he's a very big fan. And it's one of those cards that definitely gets better when your opponent isn't playing around it.
Absolutely.
So it looks like we have a Wasteland Swamp.
Jake's he's got a bunch of removal, but a little bit of a slow draw.
Yeah, I think there's a couple Elemental Blasts in there.
I believe I saw Rabble Master, but not sure. He's got a lot of red cards. Yeah, I think Rabble Master, Pyroblast, and an Abrupt Decay on top of 2 lands. But Dark Confidant off the top looks pretty good.
That sounds great. I'll just deploy this. Thank you, deck. And it's going to get dazed.
Yep.
Or Force World.
Not getting dazed.
Dazed. Get dazed.
Shawn just having it all.
Yep. Yeah, Jake trying to learn from his past mistakes to just jam it and force him to have it.
Yeah, well, I think just with the land light draw that Jake has, he can't afford to play around it.
Definitely not.
He's going to have to run something out, get it countered, and then hope that the next spell will resolve.
Definitely. So Shawn can deploy the Young Pyromancer here. And looks like that's probably what he's going to do. Yep, here comes Young Pyromancer.
He doesn't have a spell that he can cast right now, or any way to protect it.
Yeah.
But I think just throwing out the Pyromancer as maybe...
and it might be the indicator of the Swamp Wasteland draw that...
yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately he can't do anything this turn. Wasteland the only land, now that Shawn has shown that he does not have any other lands in play.
Makes sense. Wasteland not doing anything else this game.
The downside here is that Shawn now has essentially access to 2 mana, because he can eat the Wasteland and eat the Underground Sea at least once.
It does, though.
And this Ponder will probably find him into another land.
Yeah. Better than just having the Underground Sea in play that you can tap every turn.
And he immediately found a fetch land. It's like, yep, okay, I'll take that. And now he can fire off another spell if you should so choose.
I think he has another Deathrite that he could maybe run out.
And that'll definitely do good. And the fetch land, of course, then now increasing his mana even further with those Deathrite Shamans. Yeah, I guess it depends if he... Yeah. The next two cards that were on top, I remember there was a Ponder there. I couldn't quite see the third card.
I think just two draw spells, either Ponder or Brainstorm, or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Though I guess if there was a probe, he would have kept that and just cycled it for a token.
Yeah, it's very possible. So now he can be either playing a Deathrite Shaman or he can be playing a Brainstorm here.
Yeah, just run out another Deathrite. Getting pretty close to being able to cast that Angler.
Ooh, Jake did find a red source here.
Yeah, and it's also a green source if he wants to decay something.
Yeah, so he's got all the options here. Does his list run a Taiga?
I would assume so.
Just to make sure on the land base.
Oh, he does not.
He does not. That's awkward.
For Grove of the Birdwellows being the red-green land of choice makes sense when you're running Punishing Fire.
Definitely.
But it does look awkward in this strange scenario where you drew your basic Swamp plus Wasteland.
Yeah. So you're definitely getting red here. Then if the rest of your hand is...
Yeah. Oh.
Or does he not agree? I guess you want to play around counter magic as best as possible, and Abrupt, you need to get rid of this.
Yeah, Jake does need to kill the Young Pyromancer this turn 100%, and I think just not wanting to take the chance of getting it dazed.
And I guess Punishing Fire isn't the greatest cast here with double Deathrite Shaman on board. You want to try to save it until you...
Yeah, the hoping to draw a Grove plus another red source might be a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah. The downside here is these Pyroblasts look real bad.
Yes, and that's also the 5th card in the graveyard. So between the land and the Deathrite activation, Shawn can cast a Gurmag Angler. Let's see if that's what he wants to do, or if he wants to just expand a little bit more.
And unfortunate for Jake, that fetch land, that Wooded Fiddles that he just cracked, gives Shawn that extra land that he needs.
It looks like Shawn's going to Brainstorm first. This still essentially gives him a mana for the Gurmag Angler, so it's free, but if he doesn't draw a fetch land here, which he did not, he is going to be Brainstorm locked.
Yeah.
Oh, he can just Wasteland this Bayou. It's probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah, Wasteland the Bayou, and then now we'll be able to play a Gurmag Angler.
Yeah. 1 mana Gurmag Angler. He even still has access to the other Deathrite activation if he wants to, so he could leave up Stifle.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
Really being able to punish Jake's awkward draw this game.
Definitely. And this is kind of the downside of having a greedy mana base like this Jund deck wants to have. You have a lot of non-basics that you like, and you need to run 4 Punishing Fire or Grow with Birdwellows that are unfetchable, so now you have to try to make up your mana in other ways.
It is, but at the same time, he's got looks like 3 basic lands. He's got 4 Deathrites to maybe fix his mana. I would guess that games like this are very much abnormal from Jake's side.
And he just got to skip it. Wow.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Delver doing what Delver does, and really punishing the stumble there from Jake.
Yeah.
Managing to take things down, and a little bit of a bad matchup there for Shawn.
Definitely. Yeah, so we had 52 players tonight.
I think there were a few last-minute stragglers, so we made it up to 56 for round
56. So we have 56, and we're in round 2 of 6 rounds.
Yeah.
And then cut to top 8. We want to bring you guys back to the booth here.
Yeah, so bit of a fast one there. Still got almost 30 minutes left of the round. Probably going to have enough time for back a match.
Yeah, our judges will try to coordinate that.
See if we can get that set up for you guys. And in the meantime, I want to talk about that Grixis Delver deck a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Shawn really making that deck look pretty impressive.
And again, he's been doing this, and I think he's like the last couple of Legacy Reservation series. He's been like the only Grixis version of Delver in the room, and every single time he does very well with it. And part of it's deck familiarity, as well as the fact that the cards are all consistently good.
Yes.
And I'm a big fan of playing a deck where everything does the same thing, has the same game plan, and it's definitely that, and it's definitely low to the ground, which is very key.
Yeah, I know. Outside of Shawn, what comes to mind is at Grand Prix Seattle Tacoma back in 2015, we saw Christian Capcano make the finals with Grixis Delver. And I want to say there's another Grixis Delver in the top 8 of that tournament.
I think so as well, yeah.
So it has kind of shown up in pretty good numbers over the last year or so. But I don't think it's ever really been the most popular Delver deck, or even the most popular blue tempo-y deck.
Yeah,
but
notably it was also hit pretty hard by Miracles because unlike the bug variants that are around, it's mostly stuck at CMC 1.
yes.
And that's a big issue against counterbalance in the top. So now that you don't have to deal with that anymore, you feel a lot better against most of the field. Again, the bug decks mostly have 3 CMC creatures and threats.
Without counterbalance in the format, the value of Abrupt Decay gets a lot lower.
Yeah.
So being Grixis instead of Sultai or 4-color doesn't look quite as awkward.
Definitely not. But I definitely could easily see where these tempo decks that are running, Dazes and Forces, that's definitely going to be the police kind of in the format.
Yep.
Punish you if you're a combo deck that stumbles or can't answer those immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking pretty good, and should be a good day for Shawn.
Yeah.